If you know me, you know that I love watching documentaries with my life. That's why I decided to make my own real documentary on one of my last 30 days as a free man. So I made a checklist of things that I think should be included in a good documentary. Specific topic: the history of German people in Brazil. Check. Epic narration. Possible. Third is cinematic drone shots. And of course, there's one thing that can't be missing: the infamous interview with the professor. Well, that was kind of a problem. But if you remember the priest in the video where I tried to teach a Brazilian a German tongue twister, then you might also remember that this particular priest wanted to put me in contact with a real professor. Can't believe it, but that actually worked out. So professor, check. With that, I had all the ingredients that I need to create a great documentary, so here it is. Have fun watching.
The Serra Gaucha, a natural wonder in the south of Brazil. Wide canyons, green as far as the eye can see, giant waterfalls, and inhabited by Germans. Why? How? I want to get to the bottom of these questions, and for that reason I'm meeting journalist and author of 24 books, Felipe Kuhn-Braun, today.
Hallo! Guten Morgen!
On our way to an historical site, I already got some interesting insights.
300.000 Deutschen kamen nach Brasilien in dieser Zeit von ab 1824 bis nach dem Zweiten Weltkrieg.
After a short ride, we arrived at the Castellinho do Caracol, a historical part of German history with a big residence where an immigrant family with the name of Franzen formerly lived in.
Meine Passion, die Geschichte natürlich und auch erzählen und schreiben.
A big part of this little castle has been turned into a nice cafes for visitors nowadays. There we sat down to talk more about the origins of German immigration in this area while eating a traditional Apfelstrudel.
Der kaiserliche Regierung hatte eine Schwierigkeit zu bevölkern diese Küste in Südbrasilien. Der Kaiser Pedro I., seine Frau war Kaiserin Leopoldina und Leopoldina war eine Habsburg. Und auch diese Deutsche einladen, weil die Kaiserin auch deutschstämmig ist.
After this first conversation with Felipe Kuhn, we had a closer look around the place to discover more about the German immigrant family that once lived here. All rooms are completely furnished as they were back in the day to show the living situation of the people here in the beginning of the 20th century. There's also a big park around it and we went there to continue our interview.
Deutsche Siedlungen oder Gemeinde. Wir treffen in Nova Petrópolis. Gramado gibt auch. Wir sehen im Zentrum viele, sind nicht original Fachwerkhäuser, ne? Aber eine deutsche brasilianische Architektur. Viele deutsche Familien, sie wollten auch nicht mehr bleiben in einem Land, die so viele Kriege hat, schlechte Bedingungen zum Überleben, zum Leben. Wir merken in diese Briefe, sie haben geschrieben, wir wollen Frieden, wir wollen nicht mehr Krieg. Sie wollten lassen, es war schwierig das Leben. Aber sie wollten nicht vergessen ihre Heimat. Ich forsche schon 20 Jahre über diese deutsche Geschichte. Als ich Kind war, ich habe eine Urgroßmutter gekannt. Sie wusste kein Wort auf Portugiesisch sagen.
With German descendants himself, I asked Felipe Kuhn how he would describe this place to wrap up our interview.
Von Rio Grande do Sul könnte ich sagen, vielfältig, wunderschön und auch meine Heimatland.
The families may have moved from Germany to Rio Grande do Sul because they fled the horrible living conditions in the war-shaped Europe at the time, but they did not come here to forget their origins. The German heritage in the Serra Gaucha is deeply rooted. That's visible in the language, culture and architecture everywhere.
That was my mini documentary about the German culture and immigrants here in the south of Brazil. Especially for me as a German and history student, it's super fascinating to learn about this story. After that, it was time for me to leave Gramado and the Serra Gaucha behind to go on a road trip to some amazing places. Tune in for the next episode to know where I'm headed, and until then, as always, let's discover more of Brazil tomorrow.